Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. Boys, it seems like it's been a while.
Eternity.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it's not like we've been having millions of people reaching out like, hey, what happened to you guys?
No.
No. Come on, guys.
Maybe they were on vacation
We're okay.
too. Yeah. But
All right.
we did catch a lot of fish. We went to Alaska, which if you've been watching for a while, you know that we have a place up there and love going up there during the summer. And so brought the in-laws, of course, our whole family, and brought the in-laws with us and went fishing for a couple of days and brought back 300 pounds.
Jeez.
Well, I got an idea.
I didn't get any pounds.
Yeah, if I went and if I was there with my in-laws, I would definitely take them out fishing. There'd be a certain number of people going out, and
You'd use
less
bait.
less people coming back.
Never fails. Never fails. We're right back at it. Right back where we left off.
Whenever people say, like, how would you kill somebody? You know what I mean? Like, we already know how Mike's going to do that.
All right, you're going to want to text the word, how about AZ for Arizona to 623 AZ Recon Group, or if you want to hear back from us, just go ahead and just put Arizona or AZ in the comments section. Came across this is just fun. And it's the 12 phrases you'll only understand if you live in Arizona. And we're not going to go through all 12. Some of them we can explain as they're just kind of annoying. Some of them it's why we live here. And so I'm going to jump into my favorite one of one of the best reasons it is to live in Arizona. We don't do daylight savings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how nice that is?
It's so nice.
I know.
Yeah, it's always...
I'm like, well, why are you guys trying to mess with time? Like,
Yeah.
it's all going to come back, in the margins. So just keep it. But I mean, I get it. There's smarter people than I that have made this decision to move the clock forwards and backwards. And I don't remember. Wasn't there something where they're going to stop doing that? Wasn't there?
Well, I'm sure.
I've heard
I've heard
something
California was going to stop. Yeah, I think if I remember right, that was one of those things that Trump talked about when he got elected. We're just going to eliminate daylight savings, and then we're going to have clock protesters everywhere.
Yeah.
How dare you take away daylight savings?
My favorite is it's a dry heat.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite.
And no matter where I go, everybody like tries. Oh well, I'm from, Florida, and it's worse there. And so it's like, are we trying to have a competition here? Like how shitty it is wherever you're like your weather is?
Oh, Florida, your weather is so much better than Arizona. You know what we don't get here? We don't get hurricanes.
And we don't get
earthquakes. And we don't get tornadoes.
And we don't get snow. Well, I mean, up north we get snow, and we're talking about the Midwest. But it's funny. Whenever I tell somebody that I'm from Phoenix, they immediately want to bring up the weather and talk about how their weather is worse. Like
I always go right into it. I go, but it's a dry heat.
Yeah,
but it's a dry heat. It's okay.
Take away their ammunition.
I hate that. Go ahead and turn on your oven and stick your head in it and see how much you like it.
I like to, put a hot hair dryer right in front of your face and blow it on you. And that's kind of how it feels to ride a bike in Arizona in the summertime.
Stick your head in a convection oven.
Well, and that one kind of leads into don't touch the steering wheel. I do not understand how people with the advancements in technology, you cannot live here unless you've got a automatic starter. Like we're either an app on your phone or it's on your key fob, and because what it is, you guys know when you get in your car and you turn it on, it's that initial blast. I don't care if it's a wet heat or dry heat, it's miserable. And to have your car running for a couple minutes before you get into it cools down the steering wheel, cools down the seats.
And I can't tell you how many people I know that have a garage and all they do is use it as storage, and then they park in their driveway and then get in their vehicle at 120 degrees. And I'm like,
it makes such a difference to park in the garage.
Throw all your bullshit away. You're clearly not using it. Go park in your garage and drop the temperature by 40 degrees. And
it's funny. My wife and I were talking about that over the weekend. We went up to our place up in where do we have a place? Pine Top.
Yeah. That one.
That one. Oh, I got so many cabins all over the state of Arizona. I can't remember which one is which. And Pine Top gets a shit ton of snow. It does, and it gets a lot more snow than Sholo, and Sholo's
Or
only
Heber,
12, 15 minutes down the road from it. And our across the street neighbor, they're full-time residents there. His garage is just packed with tools and stuff like that you could put into a shed. And I just don't know why, if you have a garage, to your point, Ryan, and you're in the snow, why would you park outside? You got to chip off your windshield, and
It makes no sense to me.
You got to dig out under the tires rather than just going over it with, or having somebody take care of your driveway. Yeah, I get it.
And then staying on the weather part, the monsoons here.
Oh,
now
haboob.
Yeah, the haboobs and the monsoons. Now,
we all remember our first time being in Haboob.
yeah.
And it's so much fun to say.
Yeah, and
Haboob,
it,
haboob,
it looked like a movie, like
Yeah, it did look like a movie.
Like what's that? American Sniper. How at the end
Oh, yeah.
where he's going through. It's exactly what it
Or
looked like.
or Mummy.
Yeah, Mummy.
yeah.
But that happened for a decade, and I mean, we really haven't seen the amount of haboobs that we did back in like early 2000s or 2010 area.
Yeah.
We used to see them all the time, multiple times a season.
Yeah.
And now it seems like we might get one decent one
Yeah,
that
and-
rolls through.
Well, last year we went over about 100 days, I think, without any rain.
Oh, it was I think it was 100 and. Am I wrong? Wasn't it like 150? It was a record setting.
Yeah, it was ridiculously long drought, and the monsoon that came was just clouds.
Yeah.
No rain.
Well, I
was
have been
brutal.
I have been following the monsoon reports this summer, and so I'm a plethora of knowledge for
So
you
tell
guys
us.
today. So we are expecting a pretty solid monsoon season. However, it's going to be kind of like the real estate market. It's about a month behind. So we're not going to expect much right now, but typically July and August are your monsoon seasons, and so when they do hit, maybe the middle of July, they're equating it to the 2021 monsoon season, which I got really excited about. And then I'm thinking, well, I don't remember 2021, so I don't know what that means.
I remember 2020 being a good rainy year, and I enjoyed that year. It was just so much rain, but
What do you guys do when the monsoon rolls in?
I sit on my patio and I watch it, even if the dust is blowing in my face. That's another thing that should be on this list is Arizona people, I swear, are the only people that sit outside and actually watch the rain because we don't see it that much.
Yeah, we get excited,
like
dude.
7 days, it was like, oh my God, this actually happens here.
Well, yeah, it's and the smell,
Oh, my
like
God.
because the wet dirt, right?
Yeah.
And the asphalt and the patios.
Actually, I like the smell.
So do I.
Who does, it's like when that smell when you just mow your lawn.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's something about it.
yeah.
And if you get a good 10-minute rain, the temperature just drops like 25 degrees and it feels bearable again, especially like, that late July rains or those August rains, and you're just like, man, you've been dying in the heat for so long, and you get that rain and you're just like, I love this.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
I don't care what I'm doing. If a monsoon starts, I'm driving home. I want to be at home. Especially if it's at nighttime, I turn on my pool light, turn off all the lights, but I turn on the pool light so I can see the water and the rain hitting the pool. I light a cigar and pour myself a bourbon, and that's my monsoon
go-to.
ritual.
My favorite part about it is the fact that now we don't have LA pollution, but we got some nasty pollution when we hit in the middle of the summer because it just kind of remains stagnant.
Yep.
There's really not a whole lot of
Stays in the
wind.
valley.
And so when it rains, I mean, Because like if you get a a high vantage point view of the city, I mean it looks like someone just defecated over the city in the middle of the summer.
Just a giant fart.
Yeah. And then the rain.
Well, I don't know
comes
what a
through.
fart looks like.
A cartoon fart.
Yeah. It's nasty.
Well, there's a lot of great reasons that we live in Arizona, and if you want this article, especially if you're moving to Arizona, these are things that you should know. But more importantly, if you're wanting to learn how to take advantage of the Arizona real estate market, we'd love to have that conversation with you. Go ahead and just type in AZ into the comment section, or you can just text AZ to 623 AZ Recon. That's AZ to 623 AZ Recon. This one, it's true, but flip-flops are formal wear.
Oh yeah.
I love flip-flops, and
I think women can get away with flip flops for formal wear.
but it's not formal wear. It's casual wear.
For
I don't show up to a business meeting wearing flip-flops. I don't go to an expensive restaurant wearing flip-flops, but especially North Scottsdale, it's what you do. And then you get these douchebag dudes. I hate that North Scottsdale look.
Oh boy, he's bashing
with
on
the,
North
with,
Scottsdale.
with,
Sorry,
with the
North
flip-flops
Scottsdale.
and the golf.
I don't feel that way.
And the golf shorts, the golf shorts, and the long sleeve button-down shirt that you roll up.
and the skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, yeah.
skinny-
So I know what I'm wearing next week. I actually know a pretty high-profile guy that wears nothing but flip-flops. It's wonderful. I'm like,
Good for him.
yeah. I love it. I'm like, way to wear your gear and do what you want to do.
What about the wildlife? It's talking about javelinas and scorpions and whatnot. Oh, did I tell you guys? It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and we live in the city. I mean, we're over in the north central part of the valley, and we were cleaning our house, and it was a nice spring day or whatever. Had all the doors open. We're letting everything air out, all the fans, and just
All the fart
Yeah.
smell.
yeah, exactly. and so like, it's not like we weren't paying attention to what was going on, but I was taking laundry back from the laundry room to the bedroom, and there's this 1.5 foot long snake sitting in my hallway.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's wild.
What kind of snake was
it
it?
was just a bull snake.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it wasn't venomous or anything.
We have these two chimneys. We have two fireplaces in our house, one in the basement and one in the great room. And so when we bought the house, one of the chimneys just doesn't have that cap that goes over it.
The arrestor.
Yeah, and there's no one in Arizona that builds those and makes those and fabricates those because nobody has chimneys.
Yeah.
And so this one morning I hear my wife scream, and I go out there and she's going at it with a big old bird that just somehow
Went down.
got in it and got down, and now I got this freaking bird sitting in my house, and I'm trying to shoo it out the back door.
Dude, you want to hear some bullshit? This is crazy. I think it's kind of cool. One of the storm drains in our neighborhood, a fucking beaver.
Built a dam in the storm.
No. Came up through the storm
Oh,
drain.
no way.
And was wandering the
I
streets.
didn't even know we had beavers here.
I know, dude. I know we have them up in like the mountains and whatnot, but never in the city. But a huge, fully grown beaver just walking around 15th Ave.
Wow.
So what happened to it?
I mean, Game and Fish went over there and took him back to wherever they take him.
Took him to the zoo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not wild, but it was like chewing down trees, and like people were getting pissed. It was chewing on fence posts.
Well, there are a couple important things for people to understand. Yeah, javelinas are a real thing here.
Never seen one.
Shut up.
I
I've never seen one in Arizona.
I see them a lot.
And they're always up by our cabin too. Never seen one.
Oh,
my mom sees them all the time.
They're all over Scottsdale.
Yeah.
We have
Never
in our
seen it.
neighborhood. We have raccoons. We have foxes.
I've seen raccoons.
Yeah.
Never seen a javelina.
But the other thing that, and I guess the point of the matter is, don't pet it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And then scorpion. People get really up in arms about scorpions. Have either one of you ever been stung by a scorpion?
No,
Nope.
No, I haven't either. But what's really interesting about scorpions, we do have a scorpion problem. but they're location based only.
Yep.
They're just not all over, and so there are certain areas of the valley.
Either you have them or you don't.
Yeah, unless, and then the problem is especially with these new, like my mom lives in Pebble Creek, and all of Pebble Creek is lined up with these giant tall palm trees that they brought in, and that's where those suckers are living,
Yep.
and then they can infest an area.
We don't get a whole lot of scorpions in our neighborhood, but we do get fruit rats.
Yeah.
Because
I had those in my old neighborhood.
it used
Unbelievable.
to be a big, huge citrus like orchard prior to it being developed back in whatever the 40s or the 30s, and they just hung around, I guess. So
Yep.
we've had to kill a few of them. But the other thing that I didn't see on here is anything in regards to how widespread out we are. Because in the real estate industry, we always say particularly for first-time home buyers, you drive till you qualify.
Yeah.
Because
Explain that. People don't understand what that means.
the closer you are to in town, the more density there is of population. Therefore, you're going to have higher demand. There's more utility, there's more nightlife, there's more jobs, there's more of everything the more closer you are to the central part of Phoenix. And so, therefore, the real estate costs are higher. The cost of living is higher. So what that means is the further you drive out, when you go into one of the suburban areas or the outskirts areas, Buckeye, New River, New
Santan Valley.
Santan, New River, Apache Junction,
Maricopa.
they're going to be at a more affordable price point. So you end up driving a little bit further. But we, compared to most metropolises, we have really good transportation. Now, we bitch and moan about rush hour and whatnot, but
It's nothing compared to anywhere
like
else.
L.A.,
I'm
Seattle,
from LA,
Miami,
bro. I hate when
New
people
York.
complain. I'm born and raised in LA.
Yeah.
Well, just talking about that, though, my favorite is snowbirds are back. Because I live in Peoria, and I do a lot of work out in Surprise. So I'm always having to drive through Sun City. And about September, end of September, early October, I got a plan for another 15 minutes to add to my drive just because the pace of traffic dramatically slows down. We're talking, in 45-mile-an-hour zones, we might hit speeds of like 33 miles an hour, with nobody around.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it goes, and that's okay. But
I know a lot of people talk crap about snowbirds. And man, we got to get rid of the snowbirds, or
Why?
we gotta,
I don't know.
or got to get rid of the Californians, and whatever the case is. And you see these other countries.
He's saying this because he's from California.
No, but you see this with other countries. They want to get rid of all the tourism, and Hawaii's got a horrible reputation for how they treat tourists in certain areas. But at the end of the day, it's what drives and makes our economy.
Absolutely.
And helps our property values.
Yeah, we drive a lot of business and a lot of income based off of our tourism.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so I just asked the snowbirds. The only thing that I asked this of all people. Okay, yeah, you might drive a little bit slower. That's okay. I get a little impatient. I might flick you with my brights and whatever the case is. But when you leave the driveway, have a plan. Just know where you're going, right? Just that. I hate getting behind people who've got no idea where they're turning and no idea where they're going because they haven't figured out where they're going.
And everyone has a supercomputer that can tell them where to go, in their pocket. So
My favorite thing, just like Mike just said, I feel like this has happened to me at least a handful of times. I'm driving through a Sun City community. A car comes out of the driveway and is just sitting in the middle of the road horizontally and just deciding which way they're going to go. And you got people stopped on both sides. And then they're freaking out because the people on both sides, and like, okay, right, have a plan before you start that car moving.
Yeah, and it's okay to honk at them because chances are they can't hear you.
I'm not honking. I'm not
it
honking.
was like 20 years ago. One of my cousins came out to visit us maybe 30 years ago. It was a while ago. Came out to visit for the first time. And when he landed, we're like, okay, well, what do you want to do? He said, I want to go see the saguaro cactus. And we're like, okay, well, we have plenty of opportunity for that. So there was one at Sky Harbor, and he walked out and he saw it, and he's like, I can't believe he thought that there was one saguaro cactus in the entire.
Oh, like we're going to go see the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah, like there was only one saguaro cactus, and I was like, dude, there's millions of them. I mean, of course, it's a small bit of the world that has them, and it's here, from basically Tucson up to northern Phoenix, but there's millions of them, so you get to see as many as you want, brother.
Back to this, when you leave the driveway having a plan, it drives me nuts. And I'm always behind this person at the McDonald's drive-through line.
I can't wait to hear what he's going to say.
Yeah,
The Big Mac hasn't changed, right? The McDonald's menu is the McDonald's menu. The amount of people that pull up and have no idea what they want. Like when I show up to McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, I got a plan. I know exactly what I want. And they got to stare at the menu and so forth. It drives me nuts.
I'm probably that guy because I maybe have gone to McDonald's maybe like 4 times in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So
it's never my plan to go
No,
to McDonald's.
no,
So
and
when I
I'm-
go, it's because I have to.
Yeah.
Or the kids are forcing
that's exactly
me,
what happens
so
to me. Normally, I send Sabrina with the kids.
I got a lot I can talk about. On
We know you
McDonald's,
do.
But anyways, well, that is, boy, we wasted 20 minutes of your time going over the 12 phrases you'll only understand if you live in Arizona. But more importantly, we are here about helping you build real estate wealth. And you want to learn more about the Valley. Ryan talked about drive till you qualify. There are some amazing deals on the outskirts of town. We know where the deals are. We've got relationships with the builders. If you'd like some more information, go ahead and text AZ to 623 AZ Recon, or simply just text AZ or type in AZ to the comments section.